Hello everybody and welcome to another Merlin the Mighty video. It is here with Gimli.
Hi.
And we have pretty classic intro for Gimli. We just got done watching Spider-Man Far From Home. I'll tell you something, Gimli. I was, as you know, I am something of a Spider-Man fan.
You like Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man, so...
A lot.
I feel like this movie was made for me and a lot of big Spider-Man fans. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Now... I'm more interested to hear from you because I know you're not as hardcore of a Spider-Man fan as I am, but
Spider-Man's not my favorite.
I know you like some other people like Cap and Thor, Punisher.
Yeah.
But as a Marvel fan and as a movie person, know about films, how did you feel about the film, generally speaking? Before we go into all kinds of stuff, because I'm going to be gushing the whole time.
Generally, I liked it.
Good. Okay.
I would watch it again.
I definitely would too. I might actually in theaters. I really liked it
Because I think I missed a lot of detail, I think
I did too, like a lot of Easter eggs or little things. I would totally watch this again. I'm sure a lot of people already know the basics of this, but basically what happens with this is Spider-Man, after what happened with Mysterio, everybody knows who he is. They think he's framed for murder now because of all the whole drone thing with Iron Man. So he goes to Doctor Strange and is like, could you use a spell to kind of undo this, make everybody forget about that? And unfortunately it gets messed up, and so all these people that know who Spider-Man is from different dimensions
get pulled into this universe,
which is basically just an excuse to bring in villains from previous Spider-Man villains movies and franchises, which really is just kind of, in summary, Gimli, I feel like this movie really is just like a love letter to Spider-Man, but specifically the Spider-Man movies. Like, if you liked the Spider-Man movies or any of your Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, you'll get something here for that. And I think they were respectful. Like, clearly there was love. Like, they pulled from every aspect of the different movies.
Brought closure to some of those other movies.
That's right. We were talking to Nathaniel and Justin out here, and we were kind of going over it. And that was a good point that was brought up, is that because, especially with Andrew Garfield, but even with Tobey's movies, there wasn't really as much closure to their story, really, because they didn't get the third or the fourth movie. So for their characters and the relationships to certain villains, like they get redeemed, and so you get to see some of those villains. And the way it kind of works out is it kind of addresses this issue that, back when they were doing all these new superhero movies, they weren't really thinking about big franchises like this, so they just would kill the villain, the main villain at the end of each movie. And this kind of almost says, all right, we're going to acknowledge that, because Spider-Man, like most superheroes, doesn't really kill people. So we're going to kind of tie that into one of the themes of the movie of, like, not taking revenge and taking the higher ground, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, for me personally, just getting to see a bunch of these different villains again and teaming up in these weird situations, was really cool. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. One thing I brought up, which I was surprised about, but two things I was surprised about, was just the interaction between the three Spider-Men. Like, it was just like a lot of them like hanging out, talking, acknowledging each other's weird quirks, and like them working in the lab, being scientists, and the comedy, the hijinks. The
hijinks were awesome.
Like, I never would have thought.
It's sort of like Deadpool hijinks,
kind of like,
in a sense, like
not quite as R-rated, but
not R-rated, but that style of hijinks. And
I'll tell you something. As an example of that, I never would have thought in a Spider-Man movie I'd get to see two Spider-Man basically massaging each other.
Yeah. That was
one of my favorite scenes.
That was one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
It's just because basically, they acknowledge that the Spider-Men are older from their timeline now, and they're older actors, so it's an in-joke and about the back hurting, and Andrew Garfield starts massaging Tobey by lifting him up and cracking his back. And it was all right.
And then some of the other web shooting aspects.
And a lot of little fan discussions, of course, coming in the movie, like, oh, you can generate your webbing naturally. Where does that come out of? Like, we didn't hear that come up all the time back in high school,
right?
Like, as a joke. So it's funny that got in there, little debates and little jokes, kind of about how, okay, to make it easier, I'm Spider-Man number 1, year 2, and year 3 to Andrew Garfield, almost saying he's everybody's kind of least favorite, but they still gave him a lot of love.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cute. All right, here's the thing.
How do you like the villains overall?
Okay. I have this thought, so don't let
Okay.
me forget it. But I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the thing, dude. One of the reasons I like Spider-Man so much is because I think he's got the biggest and one of the best rogues galleries. He's got so many great. That's one of his best things. And the funny thing is, no matter how you feel about all the different Spider-Man, all different movies, the best part was always the villain.
Yeah.
The villain's the most interesting part. And everyone pretty much agrees about that, especially Tobey's. And they brought the most popular villain from each movie into this one. So the villains overall, let's see. Well, I just love talking to the villains. Okay, first of all, biggest. Okay, I have a question for you at the end of this.
Okay.
So we have,
I
this will
think
be a long
I think
video.
you know.
Actually, I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to go through them. You can guess mine.
Okay.
Because I don't know yet either. I really didn't think about this. This is a good question. This will be a long video. Okay, first of all, Norman Osborn comes back. Green Goblin. So good.
Oh,
like, just
amazing.
So, and I don't know where to begin. Like, okay, you know how, like, in the first movie he had the dumb Power Rangers thing because they didn't want to give him the Goblin mask or whatever? They basically make him the traditional looking Goblin, sort of.
Yeah.
But instead of giving him a mask, they just use Willem Dafoe's face, which is what everyone always said they should do because he looks like a Goblin. But they balanced that, the tragedy with the insanity and just the evil, and him really kind of symbolically always being Spider-Man's arch nemesis, trying to kill the woman and kind of push him to the edge, and
doing everything that he can to break Spider-Man,
which is what he does, and he comes so close. And spoilers, they kill Aunt May.
Yeah.
They kill Aunt May, and there's always tragedy, and that was a really that was like the most emotional scene. There's a lot of that in this movie. That's the point I want to come back to.
There's a lot of emotional stuff.
It was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be.
It balances out the humor, though.
It does. If otherwise it would be too jokey, there wouldn't be enough stakes. But yeah, Willem Dafoe was great as Osborn, as the Green Goblin, of course. He was great. Doc Ock came back. Doc Ock was great.
I think he was probably my favorite villain.
I was going to ask you. Okay, so all right, well, explain that to me.
At least the one that came in the movie.
So, all right, tell me why.
Just because, like, he actually sort of helped Spider-Man then. It was like he actually genuinely wanted to help other people then.
Interesting. So you like the fact that he kind of had a good turnaround in his character and actually was more sympathetic and was an ally to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You liked that? See,
I did.
You seem like the kind of... I feel like you'd like a really evil villain, knowing you.
He wanted to very, very much kill Spider-Man when they met.
That's true. He was really very evil and maniacal. But you liked his transformation.
I liked the transformation.
And the thing about...
Which worked well for the movie.
Did you like him in the Spider-Man 2 when he was originally?
Yeah.
So,
It was alright.
Do you like Dr. Octopus in general, or was it just kind of how he felt in this movie?
Just this movie.
Okay.
No, you already know my favorite Spider-Man villain. He's also a hero.
The Punisher. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cheap. Yeah, that's true. He started out trying to kill Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Punisher.
So where's Punisher in the movie?
He's trying to get his own show again. He's working on season 3. Which
Well, this would have been perfect for it.
Well, I think they're working it in because I hear that Kingpin was in Hawkeye apparently, and Daredevil shows up as the lawyer in this.
Yeah.
So
which is amazing.
That was such a good scene. I was like, from that, everyone was cheering. It was so good to see this in theater with all the. That was the first clap.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, cheering. I'm like, that means the Netflix shows are canon. We could get Punisher. Ooh, like that.
Yeah, there's so much.
I'm on villain still. Okay.
Yeah.
Doc Ock was great, really sympathetic. Alfred Molina, he gave
Lizard.
make me give forward. You know, I really like the Lizard. Of course, you know, a reptile guy.
Not enough of them.
He was, of all the villains in the movie, I think Lizard was kind of shortchanged a little. He had some good lines, he had a few good moments, but we never got to dive as much into that because he, if I remember correctly, I don't think he was killed at the end of his movie. They just cured him. They kind of had sympathy for him at the end, so there wasn't as much to do with him. But I kind of almost wanted him to, when he was in the van, to start actually be, I'll just wait in the van, and he's just like making lizard people again, like it begins. Like, what does that mean?
Like there's mice or rats that were in the truck.
Like he was testing in the first movie that he was in. Yeah. So I was wondering if he was gonna have his own side thing, but no, he's just kind of a crony.
Yeah.
But I did like the Lizard. He was still cool. Sandman was great.
Yeah.
Also kind of sympathetic. You know,
Spider-Man at first.
Interesting twist on that. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Spider-Man 3, Sandman kind of redeemed himself. He was actually okay and just left. And this one, it starts off that way,
Yeah.
but he becomes so focused on just getting home to his daughter that he doesn't really care, and so he kind of joins up with the bad guys again. Interesting twist on him. So they used him well. I will say, as good as the sand effects were, and Sandman always comes off as kind of creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Like scary. This big reminds me of the mummy
Yeah.
with the giant sand face.
Not so scary this time, I don't think.
I actually was going to say, as much as I like the effects of the movies, I kind of think Sandman was better done than Spider-Man 3 effects-wise. I don't know, or they just haven't improved upon it that much. So
I don't think they improved too much.
it looks about the same. So I was
Yeah.
like, but he was still sympathetic.
Yeah.
Thomas Hayden Church is really good in the role, so people loved him. It was good to see him. And Electro.
Yeah.
Electro was cool.
Yeah.
Electro. I like the fact that Electro obviously doesn't want to change because he wanted all the power, and so this guy who felt like kind of like a nobody and kind of goes insane with that power, but they kind of went through his arc and got redeemed and got connected and forgiven by Spider-Man and vice versa. So that was nice. I thought it was cool. I'm glad they brought Electro back. So those were all the villains, main ones in the movie. I'm trying to. I think.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say, Green Goblin was pretty darn good. I'd say either Goblin or Doc Ock were probably my favorites for that. But the drama I wasn't expecting, just with killing Aunt May and some of the harder moments with Spider-Man kind of feeling lost and his sacrifice at the end. Basically saying everyone forget me. Basically, kind of loses his life.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy, and just that scene when Aunt May dies and just him crying and they're holding on it. It keeps going. You're like.
And Happy actually, like,
feeling bad too because he was trying to have a relationship with her. There's just like so much sad.
So much.
And I was just like, dang, like okay. So, but I thought Tom Holland's acting for those dramatic moments were just really good.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. If they could give him an award, I would say do it. The Academy won't because it's a superhero movie, but good acting there. Doctor Strange's stuff was fun using his techniques. I thought the humor with him was good. I like the fact that, in a weird way, even though Doctor Strange is more powerful, Spider-Man sort of always has that edge over everybody. Like, he beat Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So it shows that wackiness of his versatility as a character. I think his relationship with MJ and Ned Leeds was good. Their bond's really strong. They had a lot of humor to the movie. They seemed like they had that groundedness to it.
And that they're still friends without him afterwards too.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's an interesting thing too. And
Yeah.
we were wondering about that. So like, if the spell makes it so that everybody forgets who Spider-Man is, what about the fact that Spider-Man was there and connected to so many of the things? Like, how do you work? Like, does it change everything else around that, or is it just that you forget?
But
when you think, because it's weird.
It wasn't Spider-Man at the end.
It was Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
So they know who Spider-Man is. So I'm just wondering, how does that work when they're thinking about their memories? Do they forget all the stuff related to it? Like, and that's maybe you're not supposed to think about that, but
we do.
We do.
The fan
thing, and you brought up a good point about what about records? What about government stuff? What about camera footage? Like, we look at it?
Like, does he pay taxes now?
And then you're just waiting. The writer's just like, shh, just comic book magic, So it's interesting though.
Yeah.
Man, I don't. J.K. Simmons is Jonah with his Fox News podcast thing. It's pretty great modern take on Jonah. It was awesome.
The new suit at the end.
Oh, you know what? I'm really that's another thing. Because they kind of did that sort of soft reboot, like you mentioned, it's kind of smart.
Yeah.
Because ever since Endgame and a lot of the big characters are gone, and we're not sure about when they're going to be recast, and the MCU is kind of in a wacky place right now.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, the good thing about him is he's got so many villains and so many stories. You don't really need him connected.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, this kind of means that we could have him grow up, start being Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy, okay? Have him grow up and do Spider-Man stories all on his own. And it doesn't have to be connected to another movie. And I think that's smart because if things start to get iffy with these bigger ones and movies like The Eternals don't do that well, we could focus on Spider-Man for a while. And I like that.
And I don't know really if they'll have some, like, Green Goblin again, or Lizard Man and Sandman, because where's the tech
for
the
that
lab for all that to happen?
They'd have to make those characters again, which probably not smart to do that right after this, but
Right.
there's so many other villains to pull from.
Yeah.
So I think that, that's something for them to consider too. Although I think X-Men's the next logical choice
Oh,
because
yeah.
you talk about a big universe, they have them now, so
But
I'm waiting for that.
I also want Fantastic Four.
They have them too.
But you know why I want Fantastic Four?
So you can get
Doom!
Doctor Doom.
I know.
A Doctor, if I feel like if they made a Doctor Doom movie where the title was just Doom in big steel font,
Yeah.
and I think
It would go crazy.
because like Doctor Doom is one of those villains. He's so big, so versatile. I feel like he could have his own movie.
Oh, definitely.
Because you and I both know, and I think I'm sorry, most Fantastic Four fans, you probably know this. The best thing they got going for him is Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
He's just a great villain.
Doom and Galactus.
Galactus and the Silver Surfer. So it's like we need them and
Yeah.
make a good movie so that we can get this other stuff that's more interesting.
Yeah.
Please. But yes, and that's what I've been saying this for a while. Let's put these other characters away. People love Robert Downey Jr.
They're great and all that, but
Let's
just
forget the Avengers because
like 4-year break
4-year break.
or
Because
5, something like that.
here's the thing: as much as I like Scarlet Witch and Vision, they're not the heavy hitters. People don't really carry franchises. So until you can recast Captain America or whoever and make it stick,
Yeah.
focus on Fantastic Four, focus on X-Men. You could get a lot of movies out of that.
Oh, you have so many things with X-Men.
And like
And so many characters.
I was just thinking about the other day. With X-Men, you've got, of course, hunting down mutants because of all the civil rights stuff, and then all the
Yeah.
evil mutants, and then all the aliens and weird stuff. Like,
And
X-Men
then-
could be its own thing.
Yeah.
Just do that for like 5 to 10 years, and then, okay, we can do Avengers stuff again.
Or even mix it in a little bit too.
Mix it up, like maybe
Yeah.
Wolverine, whoever he's cast as, shows up in an Avengers.
Yeah.
Mix and match like they do in the comics. So
And Spider-Man crosses over with X-Men quite a bit.
a lot they do. So that would make sense. And there's a lot of possibilities. I just think we need to kind of get away from the remaining Avengers because
Yeah.
I don't think they're just not as popular, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of the way I think it's going to be.
Other than, well, the heavy hitters in Avengers need to calm down. I think some of the lesser, like Hawkeye,
You got a show,
yeah. Widow had one.
Widow, which I liked her
movie.
show. It was fine.
We got Spider-Man now again.
Spider-Man again.
Thor.
Thor's going to be with Guardians.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever do Hulk movies? Because I feel like he could get Hulk movies. They could be fine.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're just afraid of him
Yeah.
because his movies didn't do very well. I liked them, but
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's one. He got one MCU
One.
movie, but I
Yeah.
thought it was good.
Yeah.
So way back in 2008. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like they could get mileage out of the
Oh
Hulk.
yeah.
He's the Hulk.
Definitely. Hulk World.
Yeah, actually do it this time. There's multiverses, so
Yeah.
you could try certain things again. Because remember, in Thor Ragnarok, they kind of did a little bit of Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
They could actually focus on Hulk. Like Planet
Yeah.
Hulk is such a good
Oh,
story.
it's amazing.
Such a good. You could make that a mini. Like it's so good. So like a sci-fi epic.
Yeah.
Like so, just there's so much possibility. We got off the Spider-Man track, so
Yeah, really far. Yeah.
But hey, it's all Marvel stuff. So, any final thoughts about Spider-Man?
I guess we're up to just letter grade now, right?
Yes. I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
Okay. You tell me if you think this is fair. I'm gonna say this. I was very excited for this as a fan, and there's a lot of fan service stuff in this, which is good. But I will admit, I do think that maybe it wasn't always the most balanced. And I love Dune more. Like Dune is still my number one, so this is not better than Dune. I'm leaning between an A or an A minus. I'm kind of in that range. Like at some points, I thought there were some minor pacing things, and I kind of wish it was like a little more of a Spider-Man movie sometimes. But you needed Doctor Strange there. But the drama was good. I don't know. I think it was fine. Yeah, I don't know. I'll leave with an A. I really liked it. I'll watch it again. I probably will.
I'll go with A minus.
Okay.
Served like you, pacing, but also some like it switched from like the happy hijinks to
The drama.
drama and stuff really quick.
That was my only real issue. Is sometimes you're kind of like, it's sort of
You
weird.
you went from one extreme to another
Yeah,
pretty quick.
and that's kind of my issue with it. So I'm leaning more for an A just because I like all the Spider-Man movies, and this is sort of
Yeah.
a good combo. But A minus is probably a fair grade. But still, a lot
I'll
of
still
Spider.
watch it again.
Oh, it was fun. It was so much fun, and you laugh. Oh, we gotta. They got you with
Yeah,
some jump scares with
twice.
the lizard. With the wait, I remember the first time was the lizard, but you knew
Lizard.
You
I
like
knew
grabbed me.
it-
Like, it was
I
like,
knew
"Ah!"
it was coming.
And you scared
I
me.
knew- I knew it was coming.
Well,
And then the
what was the other one?
oh, in the woods.
Oh, the woods was Electro or
Yeah.
Sandman? Yeah.
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 Oh, I knew it was coming.
I knew they might do something, but I didn't know it would be that bad. It was a good jump scare, but
Yeah.
yeah, so it was pretty good. There might be a few more movies I want to try to see before the end of the year. Matrix, it's coming out. It might be fun. Kingsman prequel, and I feel like there's something else, but those are the two big ones that come to mind. I might try to do a video for. Maybe Gimli will be there.
I'll try.
That's fine. Hey, I'm happy you're here for Spider-Man. Yeah, good time. I'd watch it again. If you like Spider-Man or the last couple of Spider-Man movies, I'd say go for it. Oh, and Venom was kind of at the end and didn't know who Spider-Man was and was drinking, and
Venom was a good cameo at the end.
and he left a little bit of the symbiote, so maybe that'll be tying into the next Spider-Man movie. But
Who knows?
we'll see. But hey, let us know what you thought in the comments below.
Yeah.
Appreciate you watching. Say goodbye.
Oh yeah.
Gilbert.
By the way, there's spoilers in this.
Yeah, I said that once or twice, yeah, but yes, I'll put that in the tag. We kind of went right in with spoilers
Oh, yeah.
within a minute,
Yeah.
But look, it's usually the way it is. Like, I feel it's a big movie, an MCU movie. I feel like most people that are watching it have probably already seen it at this point. But good point. Yes, there are spoilers in this video, just a few, in case you.
That was just a disclaimer.
That's the disclaimer. I should put that in there. Disclaimer at like 10 minutes in, or 22 minutes. Dang.
23 minutes at this point.
And counting.
Maybe, or 20.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yes, say goodbye again.
Bye.
Always so enthusiastic. All right.
Bye.
See you, everybody. Stay magical.